This is the Flex Network. Flex on everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Flex Network. I'm your host, Flex Shane. You can follow me on Twitter at the Flex Network 1. We're just getting started and I'm already off the damn rails with Brandon Adam. You can follow Brandon at BrandonDAdam19 on Twitter. And of course, Mike at Mike_Dickinson on Twitter. Gentlemen, we took 1 week off, but baby, we're back for 2022. How's it going, guys?
So fired up. Let's go.
It's great. You guys are throwing all these rookie talk around, though. I feel like
I
feel like I'm months behind.
You're such a wuss. You won't even talk about rookies yet.
You absolutely not.
Well, let's call it weeks behind, because all we basically do is we've been watching a bunch of like game tapes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and, like highlight reels and
yeah.
It's gonna be a fun top heavy class, but I would say, like, especially at the running back position, man, there's a pretty steep fall after the top 3. I would argue after the top 2.
Yeah,
but,
top 3. I'd say 3. Yeah.
But we'll get there. So this is it. I mean, we're on to 2022. This is it. In real NFL world, we're in a divisional round, and there's going to be some interesting matchups. While we are waiting for Mike to join us with his presence, thank you for joining us, Mike. We do appreciate you. Brandon and I had a lot of time to shoot the shit, and what we found really interesting, and I'm sure everybody's seen this, is that 3 out of the 4 games this week have a 2.5 point over under or spread, I should say. So like, it's going to be a hell of a weekend, I'd say. So we're going to give you our takes. We're going to crack, just crack the door open a little bit and start looking at our 2022 rankings. We're going to look specifically at Brandon's top 10 quarterback rankings, maybe throw a few extra honorable mentions in there. Mike and I will dissect it, destroy it, crush Brandon's soul like we tend to do. But yeah, man, it's going to be a fun show.
Sounds good. I can take it. I'm a real man. It's okay.
There you go. But boys, I got to ask you, this is completely off topic. Okay. So for those of you who are fans of Ozark season 4 just came out. Okay. So I have not watched Ozark.
Oh my God.
I haven't either.
What?
I have not watched Ozark until last night.
There we go.
Okay. So here's the thing. Let me just tell you. So here's the thing. My wife, like, you know how, in relationships, you always have like, look, if you ever met this person and it was like an opportunity, like what star are you allowed to, do your for my wife, right?
Oh, what? So, that nerd?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She married me. Like, come on.
That's true. She likes those nerdy boys.
Yeah, I mean, handsome, nerdy guys. That's it, right?
Yeah.
So I was always kind of like, I want to watch this show. My wife was never really into it, and usually we like to watch those things together. So she wasn't home last night, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go and watch this damn show. Holy shit! Like,
yeah, buddy,
it's intense, and it's rocking.
You started from the beginning, season 1,
of course,
or did you? Okay,
season
Some
1.
people do that, dude. Some people just jump into the new episodes because like people are watching it. Yeah,
not a maniac, Brandon. Like,
yes, you're not a complete. Yeah, okay, got you.
So for those who like a rush, and I'm assuming if you like football, you like a rush, go watch Ozark, man. Like,
yeah,
Mike, go watch Ozark. I know you're a busy man. Just try to pencil in a little bit of time, and fuck, man, you will not be disappointed.
I've heard it. My wife she's all into it. She texts me. She's like, Ozark starts tonight. I was like, A, I got to work, and B, that's a you show, not an us show.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's definitely a you show, and I'm telling you, I've been waiting for a while for this, and I've been an original fan of this show, and Bateman is unbelievally good in this. Like, he is so good in this. So good.
I've seen a couple like scenes where I've come in there. I've come in when she was watching, and I was like, this looks like something I would really enjoy. But I peel myself away because I haven't watched it since the beginning. Like, I came in mid scene, 5th episode of season 2. I'm like, I can't get into this because I'll get too far into it. So I do have to start from the beginning.
It's dark, man.
We'll say.
Uh-oh. No. We lost you.
Mike. That's all right.
It's okay. Just start it up.
That's the world telling us that it's time to move on and actually do some real NFL talk. All right. You might just be on mute there, Mike. All right.
He's on mute right now.
Brandon, I want to put our reputations on the line because, we don't typically call games, right? We're more of the fantasy world. We used to do pick'ems. We're not going to do pick'ems, but we're going to do a pick'em today just because there's 4 games.
Sounds good.
4 fantastic games. All right, so let's get going. We got the first game today. We got Cincinnati at Tennessee. Brandon, what direction are you going on? Do you take Cincinnati with an upset, or is Tennessee going to say, hey, put some damn respect in my name?
I think Derrick Henry is going to take the soul of that Bengals defense, and I think he is going to have a monster week. I'm taking the Titans. I think they're gritty. They're everything you want. I think Bengals are a year away from going to the Super Bowl. I think they need to learn how to play in the playoffs still. They're still too dumb and young. But the Titans are gritty. They've been in big games the last 2 years straight. I think they're prime and ready. I think everybody's healthy. I think it's time.
Michael?
I agree that Cincinnati is a year away from the Super Bowl, which is why they will lose next week when they play the Buffalo Bills in the AFC title game.
I like that.
All right, sounds good. I would love that, by the way.
Yeah, I think this is like half with my head, half with my heart. I want to see Burrow and that swagger just kind of running through the playoffs. I do think that this could turn into a track meet. Tennessee is deploying a little bit of fuckery. I don't know if you saw or not, but they're not allowing tickets to be transferred until 24 hours before kickoff. So good. Tennessee fans can't sell the tickets to Cincinnati. So I mean, they're trying to play head games, but that's fine. I think that Cincinnati is like, they're like, whatever. We've been disrespected for the last 3 years. Nobody thought we were going to do anything. They thought we were stupid to draft Jamar Chase, and here we are, just beating asses, taking names, taking lists, and we're just rolling. I think they don't care. They got swagger, and I'll be honest, if it turns into a track meet, the only way that they would be able to, that Tennessee would be able to keep up would be to continue to run Derrick Henry. And what is he going to run for 250 his first 250?
Oh no. God, his internet sucks.
We lost you again, Mike.
Your internet sucks.
That's right.
Upgrade.
So here's the thing. I do agree that Derrick Henry is just gonna like take the soul. I agree with you, Brandon. Yep. And the thing is that like you looked even last week, right? And Josh Jacobs, who is like both literally and figuratively half the running back of Derrick Henry, and he did a pretty good job running against that Cincinnati defense. So yeah, I don't really have a lot of faith that they're going to be able to stop Derrick Henry. Now, Derrick Henry and the metal foot that is in his, the metal foot that he now has, right?
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to go and be the same guy? Hard to say, but I wouldn't put it against him, man. I wouldn't put it against him.
Dude, this is the playoffs. That guy's going to take a Toradol shot and get after it. Trust me.
I think, honestly, unless you live in Tennessee, everybody thinks Tennessee's going to win. Everybody hopes Joe Burrow in the Cincinnati game.
Everybody wants to see Joe Burrow and Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen. Everybody wants to see it. I can't wait. I think the AFC is going to be in good hands for the next decade. It's going to be so good for the next decade.
It's going to be fantastic. All right, San Francisco, Green Bay. This is going to be another good one. Can San Fran go in an upset? Can Jimmy Garoppolo not throw the game away? Mike, I'm going to go to you on this one. Can we hear you?
Yeah. So, I kind of hedged this in our chat. I said that if Bosa plays, I'm going San Francisco. If Bosa doesn't play, I got to go Green Bay. Green Bay's run defense is absolutely atrocious. I think it's going to be Debo on the ground, Mitchell on the ground, and Kittle through the air. They're susceptible up the middle. Alexander's back. Rasul Douglas is good. Don't look for anything out of Ayuk. Don't look for anything out of Jennings. Rodgers is probably going to throw for 225 and 4, something around there.
4?
Yeah. I mean,
he could throw that.
So don't you remember?
4's a lot.
Don't you?
Everybody is frozen except for me. Everybody is frozen except for me.
It's an absolute debacle. My God, internet gods are not helping us out right now.
No. It's everybody's hyped for the weekend. People are talking.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But I hear you. The matchup for Green Bay is horrible this week. This is a trap game for Green Bay. If they can get past this game, they win the Super Bowl. Calling it.
No. I think that's too bold. Too bold. Look, we were talking about like, is Trey Lance going to be the starter next year if Jimmy Garoppolo gets him to the Super Bowl? Here's the thing. I think that after this weekend, it's going to be a moot point. It's going to be a moot point, pretty much. All right. So I'm taking Green Bay. Brandon, I think we're all taking Green Bay in this one, right?
Green Bay. Yeah. Right. Green Bay.
If Bosa plays,
he already said. He gave his caveat.
Yeah, Mike.
It's a hedge.
You gotta just go all in, baby. You gotta just
fuck it, San Francisco. Let's go.
He's like, just go. There you go.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
LA Rams, Tampa Bay.
Brandon. I am taking LA Rams to the bank. I think Tristan Wirth is banged up. I think that line isn't right. I think AB being gone, Godwin being gone, there's just not enough guys. They're going to force feed Gronk today and because of the safety situation in Tampa Bay. If they're smart, they will just pound the safeties and go after them. But that means it's a funnel and you can scheme that. You can scheme against Gronk. But I have the Rams. I think the Rams, with the addition to Cam Akers, man, that did you see how physical he was playing for a guy that just got back? That guy is just an animal. He's so hungry. I have the Rams this week in the under. I got the Rams with the under this week, and I think the Rams go on.
Okay, hold on a sec. I got a question for you, Brandon, because you're the only one who's really spent time doing his rankings, and I haven't looked yet. Where do you got Cam Akers in your big board?
13
overall. Interesting. So probably like late round 2, early round 3.
Yep. He's a round 2 pick for me. Yep.
You know who I'm fading on, or who I'm like starting to just really not have any appetite on? Christian McCaffrey, man. I'm going to be that guy who's like, I'm not going to take him in the first round. I can't do it. I won't do it. I'm just not going to do it.
I think a lot of people are that way, dude. I think a lot of people are that way.
I got McCaffrey out of my top 12.
Yes. I'm right there with you, man. Look,
dude,
you got to be pragmatic, man. Ezekiel Elliott, we saw it. Like
I put him.
These guys are breaking down.
Elliott's down to like 18, 19 for me.
Oh yeah, he's in that dead zone. I think
he's literally like right next to Pollard. It's pretty wild.
Yeah,
like it's pretty wild. But go ahead, like let's go. Let's keep rolling. Like what's
Mike,
your pick
Tampa
for
Rams?
Yeah,
Rams in the under.
Okay, bam! I love it.
I'm going to go Tampa. I'm going to go Tampa here. I said the Rams yesterday. I think the Tampa's going to get it done. They're going to find a way to get it done. My heart wants, as much as you guys think I'm going to cheer for Tom Brady, my heart kind of wants the Rams to win this one. I just don't know if they can get it done. Tampa, they're a powerful beast. It's only a 2.5 point spread, so it's a coin flip, right? It's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm going to go Tampa. Final answer.
If you like Tampa, you better go to FanDuel and bet a 2-touchdown day for Gronk. Because that right there is how they're going to win. It's going to be Gronk, and put those 2-touchdown bet in and have fun with it.
The Rams can't beat Tampa, man. That's just fact.
We'll see.
Buffalo, Kansas City. I think we all got the same answer on this one.
Buffalo. They're too hot.
Buffalo, baby.
They're too hot. Josh Allen is on another freaking planet right now. He is that guy. I have never seen a quarterback so ready and mentally, like you just get like I watched him on Pat McAfee. He is just so at ease with his position, and he knows what he's doing. And I think Dayball and Allen have been waiting for the playoffs for them to really put all their scheme in, and you can just tell that they have been preparing for the playoffs all year. And I think they
be back. Or no, sorry. Different question.
Yeah, different question.
Okay, two things. And this is where my head was.
I like Josh Allen.
So there's been 2 discussions this entire week in sports radio. Number one is how the Buffalo Bills are the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they're gonna like cakewalk all the way to the playoffs. And then the second discussion is the sky is falling in Dallas. The sky is falling in Dallas.
Yeah.
So that's where my brain was going. So like McCarthy. Is he going to be gone out of Dallas? And like you guys saw, the Buffalo Bills, the assistant GM was signed, right? With was it Carolina?
Giants.
That's right, the Giants. That's right. Yeah.
Yep. Giants. So, Joe Shad. Shad is his last name. Yeah.
I wonder if like it probably is not like head office shit. That's not going to be distracting, right? But like maybe is it? No, not really. The Buffalo Bills are here to work, right? They're here to
dude. I'm telling you, the only thing that makes me nervous is because they don't have Tre'Davious White. And how are they going to deal with Tyreek Hill today? That is what I'm worried about. I think Hill's been quiet for 2 weeks.
He's hurt, man. He's not 100%.
I understand, but he's moving around, and I think with Tre'Davious White, that could be a problem. That's the problem for me. Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, there's a reason that this game's on Sunday night. This is going to be.
But I'm betting. But I think the Bills lock it down. I think they scheme well, and I think it's gonna. I got the Bills and the under. The under.
I'm going over on this game. I'm going unders on all 3 games except for this one.
What's this one? 48.5.
53.
This one's 53.
Oh, Jesus.
53. It's under. It's going to be under, right?
That's going to be like 27, 28 points. Like if it's like 30 to 27,
I understand.
That's easy,
dude,
right?
I think that these two teams have been scheming for each other all season. They knew this was going to happen. I think they've been ready for each other, and I think it's going to cancel out, and it's going to be a struggle that first half. The second half will be different. The first half will be a struggle.
The Buffalo Bills, for the first time in like history, unless it was a kneel down, scored a bloody touchdown last week against Bill Belichick and the Patriots. And look, the Kansas City defense has actually been, I think, very quiet. Like they've been quietly good this season.
Yeah.
They've frankly, I think, helped the offense, which is strange to say. But the Patriots were a top defense in the league this year. And the Buffalo Bills just absolutely bamboozled those guys. Like it wasn't even a contest, literally, right? Like didn't fucking not score. I think that Josh Allen, if we're talking about how he's on a damn mission, he's not going to score 25 points. No, Josh Allen and the Bills are going to go out and score 35 points this week. Easy take the over.
I got the Buffalo Bills are so underrated on defense. They're the number 1 defense with the points allowed, and I believe they're going to clamp down today. I think they've been preparing for this today, and I think they understood that they would be seeing the Chiefs at some point in the playoffs. And they've been thinking about this all year.
Clenched butt cheeks. I don't know about that.
I love it. I can't. I'm excited. I'm so excited for that game. That game, I hope it shoots out, but 53 is really high for playoff football. Like that just seems really high for playoff football.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Next game.
They're on fire. That's it. That's the last game. It's going to be what?
It's going to be 4 degrees again.
Yeah, it's gonna be freezing. Yeah, like it's gonna be cold. But Josh Allen, he played in Wyoming. He's fine. Like
he's a warm blooded.
But he played in a dome though. Go ahead.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about cold.
So I mean, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I agree. This is probably the best weekend of football in terms of just quality games that are out there.
It is.
Just go grab yourself a pop or whatever your preferred beverage might be, and just enjoy. Just a soda pop, a Wowie
Dude,
pop.
that's what people used to call soda back up in Idaho, where I'm from. Pop. Everybody called it pop.
That's where, so I live in Canada, and at least where I am in Canada, we call it a pop. Like, go get yourself a pop.
Yep.
When people
go get
say
yourself a pop,
it's
like, true, man.
Like
it's so funny.
Southeast.
It's pretty wild.
What do you guys call it? Soda?
Just soda. Yeah. I call it a soda. Yeah.
I call it a soda. Yeah.
No,
my cousins are from Michigan, though. They always called it pop growing up.
Right. I think it's as you get closer to the northern border, it becomes pop.
That's right. This is just riveting. Yep. You know what's also very riveting? Mike, are you ready to tear apart Brandon?
Tear me apart. Let's do it.
Quarterback rankings for next year.
Let's do it. Why not?
Let's go.
I don't have any special graphics, but I do have.
I'm gonna get hurt.
People. So you guys are
be easy.
Okay, so I'm gonna put an overlay on. Okay, Mike, and we got Brandon looking his finest. We got our
dude.
top...
I can't believe this picture.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Look at that. Look at that. He's looking good, baby. He's looking good.
Yep.
All right, so we got his top 10. Coming in at number 10, he's got Aaron Rodgers. Number 9 is Matthew Stafford. Number 8 is Jalen Hurts. 7 is Dak Prescott. Number 6 is Lamar Jackson. So let's start at the top. Let's start at Aaron Rodgers. Okay. So I think that by default, you pretty much have to have Aaron Rodgers in your top 10. Now, where you really want to place him in there is up for interpretation. So I don't hate this. I think Aaron Rodgers should be ahead of Matt Stafford, though.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like we saw that Matthew Stafford can be very inconsistent week in, week out. And I get any quarterback can, but from a game in, game out, just level of confidence, I feel like Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, well, I'm on the bandwagon that he's going to stay a Packer next year. So let me just caveat by saying that. they're gonna either get a long-term deal or franchise tag Davante Adams. So the band's gonna be there, right?
Yep.
And I think more and more we saw it with just with the moves that they made throughout the year. They're actually kind of letting Aaron Rodgers have just a little bit more say in this, right? So I don't know. I like Aaron Rodgers above Matt Stafford. It's close to me. None of these things are egregious. I'm probably taking Jalen Hurts above Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, and Dak Prescott just because of that upside. But I don't hate it. What do you think, Mike?
So I have Aaron Rodgers pushed up into the top half. I have him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Top 5. Like he's a top 5 quarterback for you.
Top 6. Sorry, he's number 6 for me. I think that, and it's that's a hedge on him staying in Green Bay, or if he goes somewhere. I mean, if he goes somewhere, he's not going to go somewhere that's bereft of talent. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's going to go somewhere where he thinks he can be as prolific as he was in Green Bay, and is going to be able to make a run at it. So, I mean, if he goes, do you like is the wide receiver situation worse in Denver than it is in Green Bay? I mean, Green Bay is more top heavy with Davante Adams, but Denver's got better depth. You know, you look at what it would look like in Pittsburgh if he potentially went there. I don't know, maybe Carolina. All those situations seem like situations where he would be handpicking where he goes, and I think because of that, I mean, he's going to be the MVP of the league this year, or at least he should be. He's thrown three interceptions. 36 and 3. I mean, I just don't see any him and Brady. Like, I don't see any drop off of those guys.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason I have him at 10, and I was going back and forth between Matthew Stafford and Aaron Rodgers. The reason I went Stafford is because it will be his second year in the system. He will know it by heart. They're going to have Odell for the whole season. Most likely they'll re-sign him, I think. And they're going to have Van Jefferson as that third wide receiver. And then who knows when Woods comes back? That offense is going to be so stacked for next year. It's going to be even better, I think, next year. I think his production will go down because there has to be regression with Kupp. Like, I agree. Like, there's no way he repeats what he does this year. That's why I have him as a sell high in Dynasty. But with everybody else, I think everybody else is going to get boosted with Matthew Stafford being there, and he'll be able to get those second, third reads much quicker in his second year. And I think, you know, as Aaron Rodgers, you can tell they are leaning more and more into that run with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, right? We've been seeing a ton of production from A.J. Dillon this year towards the later half of the year. I think that continues into next year. I think they slightly back off and they start running the ball more and more, be more balanced. And that's why I just believe that.
2 quick things on LA. This is a little bit of a tangent. Cooper Kupp, if his production decreases by 20% next year, he's
still number 1.
He would still be the wide receiver 1 by 10
He'd still be number 1. That's what's amazing about it. Like, but I'm just saying, like, that nuclear production isn't going to be there, but he still will be number 1, 2, or 3. Like he will not drop out of the top 3 no matter what.
The only thing I'll say about Stafford too is that I think that with Akers coming back, I think they're gonna.
There you go.
I don't know what they're gonna do with Henderson. I think Akers, and then I think they're gonna keep Sony Michel there. I think they're gonna lean heavier into that run game because they know that's a more long term. It's easier to be successful long term with that.
Okay.
Why do you need Matt Stafford? Why did you need Matt Stafford when you got Odell Beckham throwing bombs to Cam Akers?
Dude, Cam, like people don't understand. Cam can pass, like his pass catching is unbelievably good. Like he's gonna be super productive in that facet of his game, and that is only gonna help Stafford as well. So, like, I just believe the LA Rams. We're seeing the LA Rams the consistency is gonna be there next year. I think the reason they struggled this year is it's just new, and Stafford hasn't been there, you know, very much. So he came off to a flaming hot start, but then defenses quickly adapted, and now he's struggling a little bit. And then next year he will, I think, take off big time. I think he'll be a top 5 quarterback for sure next year if everything goes right. But I just don't trust it. Like, there's other guys that I trust more because of floor, ceiling, because of running.
Speaking of more, Dak Prescott, you had number 7.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts, you had number 8.
Sure.
Is Kellen Moore going to be there? Like, what's going on with those Cowboys?
No, he's staying. I don't think Kellen Moore is ready for the head coaching position. To be honest, I think once people see him and interview him real life, they'll see that he's just a young guy, man. I think he needs time to mature as a play caller. He gets a little bit. You can just see that they struggle sometimes, and I think it's on him. I don't think it's talent. I don't think it's anything else. I think it's on Kellen. And
CeeDee Lamb has got to be your first read if you want to play a damn playoffs game. He
goddamn
can't
right.
Have a couple catches. It's egregious. It's egregious.
Yeah, it really is.
Jalen Hurts, of course, you guys know how I feel about Jalen Hurts.
You're welcome.
Philly came out this week and basically said, "Yeah, Jalen's going to be our guy. We got to get pieces to build around him." I think that's the right choice, right? Like, you look at the quarterback crop this year. Look, if there was like a Trevor Lawrence, yes, I know Trevor Lawrence had a bad year, but if there was a Trevor Lawrence and you had a shot at getting him, well, then maybe you go for that, right? If you can get Deshaun Watson, maybe you go for that. But if you have 3 first-round picks like they do, they can build some pretty substantial picks around him, whether it's going to be linemen, whether it's going to be on the defensive side of the ball. They do need to get him another wide receiver, man. Like Devonta Smith, I love him, but they got to get him a big body guy, whether that's through free agency or through the draft. I think it's doable. I like it. I mean, look.
Ooh, Calvin Ridley, baby.
That's what I'm saying.
Stop. Don't you dare take away any sort of that possibility that Calvin Ridley is going to go to the New England Patriots. That's what I need in my fucking life right now, baby.
So, okay. I just got
Harry. You're fine. That's a
Stop.
guy.
You guys know Dalton Cates, right? On Twitter. He's a dynasty guy. Okay, no. Well, I talked to him quite a bit on Twitter and DM or whatever, and we talked a little bit about Ridley going to the Pats, and he actually doesn't like it. He actually lowered Ridley from that move.
No, it wouldn't be good for Ridley. It'd be great for the Patriots, though.
It would, like, where would you put Ridley in dynasty rankings if he did go to the Pats?
So
maybe a low end one.
Yeah.
Low end. So I have him literally at 18 right now already. So I don't know what to, if I kind of like him going to the Pat lands. I think that's actually okay. I think it's actually a good fit, and I think the production will still be there. So I don't know. Ridley's a conundrum.
Ridley is a conundrum. Here's the thing, right? Like,
because he's a top 5 talent. Like, he's so good.
Well, yeah,
he really is.
Look, admittedly, I'm lower on Ridley. I think like 2 years ago, in one of my dynasty leagues, I was trying to do a couple packages, and I didn't really opt for Ridley. I wanted to get guys like Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore above him. Now, obviously, after that season, like, so this was before the breakout season for Calvin Ridley. That looked pretty bad. This year, it kind of worked out. I'm not 100% convinced that he could be an absolute true alpha year in, year out of the DeAndre Hopkins ilk. I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah,
but I think that he's a clear number 1 on a team. He can be, right?
I think he's Keenan Allen 2.0. Like, yeah, I think he can do that. And I honestly don't. I think Keenan Allen needs a guy on the outside to help him. So I actually do believe that, and I think that's why Keenan. I think that's why the Chargers struggle is because Mike Williams wasn't there down the stretch. He was banged up down the stretch, and you could just tell that offense wasn't clicking the same.
Always
banged up.
Always.
I'm curious to see where he's going to go. Like, he could go to the Saints. The Saints need him.
To the Chargers, man. I think he's going back to the Chargers.
Staying put.
You think so? Okay.
Why not hit one of his best career? Like, he had a career year almost, if not a career year.
Yeah, but are the Chargers going to give him big money? He's a top 5. He's a top 10 pick. He was used to getting paid.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so the only guy we haven't really talked about is Lamar Jackson. I have no idea where the hell I am with Lamar, man. He could finish number 1 next year.
Yeah,
he could finish number 15 next year. I don't know. In terms of actual points per game this year, he finished at number 7. Pretty similar. He was about 21 points per game. But look, there was Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, all finished at an average of 21 points per game, right? So obviously players played more or fewer games. Man, I don't know, Lamar, man. Like, there's always something, whether it's a bloody stomach bug, whether it's COVID, whether it's just he's getting hurt because he run. Like, where you got, like, fuck, like, Mike, where are you at Lamar Jackson? Because we know where Brandon's at.
Roast me. Go for it.
Yeah, my gut tells me to buy the bounce on him. I think he's going to be extremely cheap in drafts next year. I think you could see him drop down to kind of around where Hurts and Burrow went.
Yep.
And I think low key, Cully getting let go Cully got let go out of Houston. If he comes back to Baltimore, that's a huge boon for Lamar and the passing game. The passing game is going to open up the run game. J.K. Dobbins will be back. God willing, Gus Edwards will be back. Wink Martindale's gone. So
Rashad Bateman.
The defense is rebuilding. Like I'm buying the bounce on him. I think I'm going to try and target him, and I might end up going around early, like grab him around.
There you go.
Typically, I don't like to go QB earlier than round 10, which is why I ended up with a lot of Jalen Hurts this year. But I think I might kind of reach on him around earlier than ADP.
I kind of like it, man. Like we talked before the season, and when they got Rashad Bateman before JK was hurt, I was saying this could be the top offense in the league. Like with that run attack and just Andrews and Hollywood coming over the top, and then you got Bateman working the intermediate. Like that's devastating. Like that is going to be a devastating offense when they're fully healthy. And I completely think they could be a top 3 offense in this whole league. And I think Lamar is going to boom next year because of that. I think think about it. Their whole offense, this year, they didn't even get to be normal for one game. Oh. Not even one game. I mean, Bateman was hurt right out of camp, had a groin injury, got re-injured when he came back again, pulled it again, still fighting that literally late in the season. And then Lamar was able to play with him one game, like literally one game with Bateman. And then you got JK and Gus going down back to back. Like that was huge. And then they lost, one of their best O linemen to the Chiefs. So I just think
they traded them.
Well, they lost him because of cap issues. He was a cap casualty. He wasn't going to take a hometown discount, and so he went to the Chiefs and got paid. But I think literally because of that, all those things combined, we really didn't see the Ravens what they should be. And I think next year is a big bounce back. I agree with Mike a lot on that.
That's why I like what you've got on right now. You've got it at number 6.
Yep.
You're probably going to go around 7 or 8 next year. That'd be my guess. Maybe a little bit earlier.
I think higher. By summer, it'll be higher than that.
Maybe around 6.
Yeah. Where Kyler was going, that's where he's going to go.
Well, let's get to that then. Let's get to your top 5 here, okay?
Go for it.
So we got at number 5, we got Justin Herbert. Can't argue with that. Kyler Murray, love it. Joe Burrow. Now this is
there we go.
Rich. It's a little rich.
No, it's not.
Josh Allen at number 2, Patrick Mahomes at number 1. Mike, what do you love? What do you hate?
I hate Kyler there. Oh, I hate Kyler there.
You are so wrong.
Where do you got Kyler?
Go ahead.
Am I really that wrong?
Go ahead.
I got Kyler.
I mean, I have Kyler at 7, so I'm not.
Oh, so horrible.
But I think here's the thing. I think that the thing that scares you with Kyler, putting him that high, is his range of outcomes, man. I mean, the dude went healthy. The dude posted a game where he put up 10.8 points and then posted a game where he put up 38.4 points. Like that, right. With somebody like that who you assume that the rushing, and you and I have had this conversation a lot offline. Like, I don't think his body is built to sustain the rushing component to his game, and I don't think he's big enough to be able to be a pocket passer. And you saw that Kingsbury was not creative enough to get him into a spot where he could utilize his arm. And the other thing that killed me, I don't typically, this may come as a surprise, but I don't typically watch a ton of football. A lot of the analysis that I do, it comes from data and comes from analytics and comes from a lot of information that I read and gather. But like watching that playoff game, his body language was atrocious. If he's going to be a leader, if he's going to be a top end quarterback, he's got to be able to pull those guys up, say, you know what, dude, fuck it. Let's go. I'm putting this on my back and we're going to run this thing all the way to the end. He got his head down. He's acting like a spoiled brat and entitled little bitch. And I'm just not for it.
A little hot there. But all I'm going to say is this. Kyler has been a winner since the day he walked onto the football field as a freshman in high school. That was his first bad. That was literally his first horrible game in like 7 years of football for him. Like you're allowed to have a horrible game here and there. It's okay.
Did you watch all I'm going to say is, did you watch the last half of the season?
I watched.
Tyler's hurt.
I watched, and I'm telling you, without DeAndre Hopkins, that offense, that the coaching staff didn't know what to do. Like the coaching staff literally did not know how to adjust when Hopkins was out, and I put that squarely on Cliff Kingsbury's shoulders. I think if I agree with you, I was struggling between Herbert and Kyler there, and I think if Cliff Kingsbury can mature as a coach and adapt a little bit more, I think Kyler can, his consistency will be just fine. And I just feel like Cliff Kingsbury has been a disappointment as a coach and holding this whole offense back in the second half of every season he's had. Even if you go back to Texas Tech, it's the same exact problem with the second half of his seasons. It's the same exact problem. It's on the coach. But I just believe in the talent. I think.
Look, Brandon.
I believe in the talent. Go ahead.
The second half of the season, they couldn't finish it up because the second Kyler gets like a fucking bruise.
No.
His shoulder's a little bit sore.
No.
He can't play. Like, he's one of those sports guards. He's like one of those elite wide receivers, like a Deshaun Jackson, that when things are clicking, baby, when he's humming, it's week one. Holy crap. The upside
it's the same thing, dude.
Nuclear.
It's the same. I was telling you when we were talking a couple nights ago. It's the same thing that the Russell and the Seahawks are going through right now with Kyler. It's the same thing. When Russell was running and they were calling real plays with them early in the games and getting those defenses off balance, those deep shots, those big deep digs were there, right? This year, when they decided not to run Kyler, is when the whole offense sputtered. Because without that threat, the linebackers can cheat back and they can drop down back into the second half of the second tier of the secondary and cover deep. And that's where Kyler is one of the best in the league is deep balls. Like that, and it's because of his height, right? It's because of the height. He likes to throw it deep, get out of the pocket, take deep drops. That is where the deep ball comes from. But if they just call some read option runs and some runs for Kyler, some safe runs, I think the offense will open up. And I think they will see that when they do film study on when they didn't run Kyler early in the games, they were getting sniffed out. All those bubble screens are getting sniffed out. Everybody, all the safeties were going deep, covering deep in zone. Like that is a problem. They can't protect him like that. They got to let him be a baller. Just let him be who he is. And if they try and force him to be fucking Joe Burrow and throw from the pocket every single snap, you're going to see him struggle. You're right. But if they fucking just let him move around, everything go back to normal.
I have 2 points. On Kyler Murray. You fucking nailed it when you said he's great at the deep ball. Okay.
Yep.
Just because Mike, you like data.
Yeah.
Just guess over under. What was Kyler Murray's deep ball completion percentage, Mike?
50.
Don't know. 50%, literally 50%. Half of his deep ball throws, which are 20 yards or deeper, were caught. That's pretty fucking impressive.
That's amazing.
How you compare that to Josh Allen?
50%?
I don't want to hear. Yeah.
Tua was the 50%.
Yeah, but he threw very, very few compared. Like you should have a higher percentage.
The deep ball percentage doesn't matter.
Oh,
he still had 72 deep ball attempts, though. Kyler Murray did. So you compare that to like Josh Allen. Let's see here. Deep ball completion percentage. Josh Allen was 43%. Justin Herbert 44%. The GOAT was 40%.
And how many attempts though?
Kyler was 72. Josh Allen was 80. Herbert 71. Tom Brady 87. I got to scroll all the way down to my points per game.
There's room to grow in the deep ball too. That's not like they can literally. I'm telling you, when they lost Hopkins, the deep ball was gone.
It's 28 deep ball attempts.
Yeah,
compared to 72.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
like when you're doubling up, that's the hardest ball to complete in the NFL is the deep ball. Like that is
Kyler Murray is. You know who Kyler Murray is? And Brandon, you'll appreciate this because you're an NHL guy.
Yeah.
He is Johnny Gaudreau.
Okay.
With the Calgary Flames. He's absolutely electric in the regular season. He's quick. He's shifty. It's almost like poetic when you see him score his goals. But the second he gets to the playoffs, when it gets a little bit more physical, he gets out-bodied and he cannot do a damn thing. And that is what my worry is on Kyler Murray.
The slander.
NFL is an outdoor sport. It's an outdoor sport. And we've seen it where a couple of years in a row now where Kyler Murray lights the NFL on fire. And by the end of the season, he's so hurt. He's so broken. He can't do what we need him to do in real football and in fantasy football. Okay. That's what worries me about Kyler Murray. I still have him in my top 5 just because of that absolute electric upside. I think where you're low right now on, I think you're low on one Joshua Allen. I have him as my QB1 coming into next year.
Yeah.
Explain to me why he shouldn't be the one.
I think because there's going to be changeover at the wide receiver position, and I want to see what happens with the Buffalo Bills. I think they're going to actually probably address the running back position up in Buffalo because I think they understand. I think they finally understood that to win these tight games, you got to have a back. Honestly, you can, dude. Honestly, it's literally like I honestly have Pat and Allen the same. Like you can literally flip flop them, whatever you want to do. I'm completely fine with. I have shares of both guys, and I can make arguments for number 1 overall for both. I agree with you on that. Yeah. Like Allen is playing at a crazy good level, and
correct.
I think that's fine. But what happens if Dayball leaves? I think he's leaving.
I think he's leaving. I think if Dayball rolls, you got to have him as number 1 because Andy Reid runs that offense. So if the enemy leaves, it's not a big deal. Andy Reid's still running that offense. Mahomes still has all.
The enemy's gone. I think.
I hope the enemy gets a job. I hope he gets a job, man. I think he's a good coach.
I think to Denver. That'd be great.
That's a good dude. Javonte. I love that. I love that.
Would be great. Yeah, but I think Allen's success is tied to Dayball. So if Dayball rolls, it all depends.
If Dayball rolls, man.
But if they replace him internally, like if they take the quarterbacks coach and promote him up, I think he's got a better shot. But I think it's going to be rocky at the beginning of the season, and I think people are going to bail on him.
Okay. See, that Dayball leaving was my main reason why I didn't put him at 1. I think because Dayball is going to be gone. Like there's too many jobs he's interviewing for and not getting one. He's going to get one.
Okay. I mean, I think the list is pretty tight. I like it. I mean, we can agree to disagree on Kyler Murray. I still am top 5 on him. I think you're a little bit high on Joe Burrow. I know I am. You know why? You know why I am? Because I want Joe Burrow on my squads. Yeah.
Like I want him on my squads. Yeah. Like he is. Fair. I think he's going to be the next big time quarterback. I think he is literally. He's got number 1 quarterback upside with those 3 wide receivers and mix and be able to catch the football. I think they are just getting started on offense, man. Just getting started. And I think next year with Joe Burrow coming off his major knee injury this year, I think he's going to be able to move around and get some rushing touchdowns that he wasn't getting this year and get some yards on the ground compared, because you could tell he wants to run a little bit. He has that little bit of swag. He likes to run.
That was it a touchdown? Was it not a touchdown? As he's just going out of bounds, throw to Tyler Boyd last week. That was fucking vintage Joe Burrow.
Unbelievable.
That was amazing.
Joe Burrow is so good.
Like, it wasn't quite Patrick Mahomes completely like horizontal in the air, throwing a pass. He wasn't quite there yet, but it was pretty masterful. And
it was hard for me to put Joe Burrow ahead of Kyler because I love Kyler. You know, I believe in that kid's talent, especially in fantasy football. Like he can his bad games are few and far between, but he's always going to get you 20 points. Like it seems like he gets you 20 points every week, and he no matter the matchup most of the time, unless he's nicked up and unless he loses his wide receiver 1. Like he did in Hopkins, and Kyler is going to be. I think he could be by the dip on Kyler Murray in Dynasty. I think you can. I think some people like Mike, like he's disappointed in him, and if Mike owned Kyler Murray, he probably would sell. And I think you can buy the dip on him and get yourself a top 5 quarterback for less than what his value is really. So
absolutely. So I like it. One last thing before I do want to get into your honorable mentions because there was one player who was notably not on there. But one thing I do want to talk about is when you're building your team next year, right? And we'll start talking about best balls, draft strategy over the coming weeks because, guys, after the Super Bowl, best ball drafts are live for next year.
Yes, sir.
So we're only a couple weeks away. So we're going to start building our draft boards. We're going to start talking about it. So as we kind of like start to get, really get down to our quarterback rankings, the question becomes, are you going to stack these players? And there's a lot of data that's more and more starting to support stacking players. So you got Patrick Mahomes. He's got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Josh Allen, still Stephon Diggs. Joe Burrow is going to have Jamar Chase as a high end, and T. Higgins, obviously. Kyler Murray. This is another question mark, right? Yeah. Well, you're going to stack him with DeAndre Hopkins, right? But
Hurts.
Are you going to? It's Christian Kirk coming back. We don't know about that. He's a UFA. We know we like Rondell Moore. Like, obviously, right? He's like Brandon's sweet, beautiful, golden child.
He's my baby boy. He's my beautiful baby boy.
He's your beautiful baby boy. But are we comfortable stacking? I don't know about that. Justin Herbert, we got stacking options. Lamar Jackson, we got stacking options. Dak, we do. Right. Jalen Hurts. I mean, maybe, I guess.
You can get Devontae Smith. Dude, I'm telling you, we haven't done a buy low segment yet.
We're going to talk wide receivers soon. We'll talk wide receivers soon.
Devontae Smith is a freaking buy. Like, he's a buy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's just, as you're kind of like starting to like really pinpoint your rankings, who you're going to take as a quarterback more is A, what players are you going to stack these guys with? And B, what do you have to pay to both get the wide receiver or Travis Kelce tight end?
See if you can do it. Yeah.
The stacking option, right? What's that cost going to be to you? So those are the little things that we're going to start really starting to get into, right? To help you build the anatomy of your teams. But look, Brandon, none of this is egregious. I think you agree, right? I mean, Jalen Hurts, I think he's probably number 6. That's just me.
Hey, that's all personal preference, man.
Yeah. Honorable mentions. Now, one guy, like 15 minutes before the damn show started, Shane, I want to change my rankings. No, you cut off Brendan. Is Russell Wilson.
I know. So when I originally made this list, I didn't know what he's going to do. Like, it seems like they're going to keep the band together for one more year. It doesn't seem like the Seahawks organization is going to let him go. I think they're going to roll with him one more time, and they're going to give Pete one more year. And I know it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. I was hoping that they were going to move on from Pete and let Russ figure out what coach he wanted. But that's not going to happen. And I think we're going to get one more year of running Pete Carroll, and if Carson and Penny are both healthy, they are going to be a running first team. It just is going to be that way. I think that's going to.
Carson plays like. Do you? I think he might be done.
His neck is fucked. Like his neck, like he's got a bad neck injury here, and they just paid him. So like I'm. That's why I didn't want to pay him. I thought we should have let him go last year, and he was too injury prone last time to pay him. I couldn't believe we paid him.
He's a running back. Like you don't pay an old running back.
You don't. You just simply don't. You keep drafting.
Yeah, you keep drafting. That's it. Yeah, I like Russell Wilson. He's right on that cusp. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, so Russell Wilson is one of those players where if you don't get one of these top 10, like you're comfortable going.
You're
Russell
comfy.
Wilson.
Yeah.
You're okay with him, right?
Yep.
A big question mark right now because I think
say his name. Say his name.
It depends on how they do this year. But Trey Lance.
Yes.
Where the hell are we taking Trey Lance next year? I mean, look, we're going to have clarity at the end of this NFL season, right? Depending on how Jimmy Garoppolo plays in the playoffs. Brandon, you're convinced that if Jimmy Garoppolo can get them, and he looks decent, to the Super Bowl, you think they're going to ride with him next year?
Probably.
I don't know about that. When you look at the advanced analytics, I mean, yes, he's made some good plays. He's kept him in games. He's also made some bonehead plays.
He's not good.
He is between a 15 to 23. If you're ranking him like in terms of NFL quarterbacks, not fantasy, NFL quarterbacks, 15 to 23, right? Better than maybe average, maybe a little bit below average.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. So with that in mind, like Trey Lance, like people bought him this year as like the QB 13, 14 off the board. Is that where he's going to be next year? Like is Trey Lance going to be?
If San Francisco does not go to the Super Bowl this year, or if they lose this week, I think Trey Lance is their guy. And if you can't, with his rushing upside and his floor, Like, you can just tell, like, they didn't even open up the offense with him, and he's still scoring 20 points every game. Like, he's literally 20 points every game, and he's literally using a quarter of the playbook.
I mean, he played Houston when he.
I understand. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Houston.
You got to, dude. Houston locked down a couple teams this year. They played well against some teams this year. I'm just saying, like, players, for you to be consistent as a fantasy football player, you absolutely have to smash matchups. When you have the matchup, you have to smash matchups to be consistent, right? And he's doing that. And he's doing that with a playbook that's 30% of what it's going to be next year. Like, if he plays next year, I have him as a QB1 next year, easily, he's easily QB 11, 12, right there by Tom Brady. Like, that is where I have him. And I could see him sneaking up into the top 8 if he plays the whole season. You know, like, that is how. There's too many good weapons. You got Debo, you got Kittle, you got Ayuk. There's too many weapons around him not to be in a QB1 next year.
Well, and Trey Lance is the youngest quarterback in the league right now. Yeah. As of when I ran this data, which was last week or 2 weeks ago, he was 21.7 years old, which means by the time the regular season starts, he'll be 22, but he'll just be 22. Right?
He is such
a lot of these other guys.
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence is 22, Zach Wilson's 22. Justin Fields is 22. All these guys will be 23 by next season. So he'll still be the youngest quarterback. The incoming rookie class got nothing on Trey Lance. I agree with you, man. He's going to be young. He's got a year under his belt where he learned. He's learning to be a pro still. Let's call it what it is. He's learning to be a pro.
Dude.
I think all the draft capital invested, they got to do it. I agree with you. I think he's going to be a steal next year in drafts.
I think he might, if when Jimmy G is officially gone, dude, I'm officially, like, in 1 QB leagues, Trey Lance is my target. Like, he is my quarterback, so I can fade all the other quarterbacks and go get value elsewhere. Trey Lance is my guy for late round pickup.
Here's how I would play it. I think that in 1 QB leagues, I typically wait. I'm typically round 10 or later on QB. So what I would do is I would go in this draft scenario. I would probably go grab a running back early, a stud running back early, grab a stud tight end early, fill in on receivers, fill in on my running backs in there. And then when I get to like 10, 11, what I would probably do is I would take somebody who's on the cusp there, somebody who dropped probably like a Brady or a Rodgers or somebody like that who's totally dropping down. And then what you do is you come right back in 2 rounds later and grab Trey Lance and take Trey Lance behind him. I did that this year. It didn't work out, but it's the same kind of thing. I did it this year with Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields. And I think it's kind of along the same thinking. Like, you're hedging Fields against Hurts, or you're hedging, in this case, you're hedging Lance against Brady or Rodgers or something like that.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Well, that brings up the question: where the hell are you drafting Justin Fields? Like, is he right after Trey Lance, or is there a bit of a drop off? Like, you're taking him above guys like Kirk Cousins, right?
Here, you're gonna think I'm crazy for this. I'm probably gonna take Fields above where I take Lance this year. If it comes, all things being equal, if
above Lance,
above Lance, yep. So the 2 concerns that I have with Lance is that he couldn't outplay Jimmy G in camp, and maybe Kyle Shanahan learned from the mistakes that he made with RG3, throwing him in there too early. He made that mistake in Washington, and he ended up in the Kirk Cousins scenario. Maybe he learned from that. But the other thing to look at though is that Trey Lance he doesn't have that many starts. Fields has more
one
starts,
season basically. Yeah,
and Fields was
he needed this year.
And Fields and Lawrence were neck and neck all the way from their junior year of high school, all the way through until their senior year of college. And you saw what Fields did. You saw what he did on a big stage in a national championship. He's got a big arm. Chicago is going to bring a head coach in there that's going to work to his skill set. He's got the relationship and the rapport with Mooney. He's got the relationship with Kmet. Yeah. That offense is in good shape. I think right now, I think I'm a little bit ahead. I think I have Fields ahead of Lance. That could change depending on who the head coach is, who the OC is, and what we see happen with Garoppolo. But I think that I would lean Fields over Lance a little bit.
So
strictly redraft, not dynasty. Strictly.
I like
redraft.
that take. I like that. Hey man, look, I think that could be a legit take for dynasty as well.
I got Tua ahead of Justin Fields.
Stop it.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Or was that an accident? Did your daughter get a hold of your
That's
rankings?
just for best ball, man. I honestly, Allen Robinson's not going to be back.
No, good riddance.
Mooney's going to be. I understand.
So all year.
I understand. You're literally banking on some random coach to turn this whole thing around. Unless it's Brian Daboll, I don't know if you're going to be able to count on Justin Fields as your QB, be consistent at for you. I would rather have Tua. He's got Waddle, he's got Gesicki, he's got actually a whole. We're going to find out the new coach. He's got, obviously the last coach did not believe in Tua. You could tell Tua, his turnaround this year was the minute all the Watson stuff wasn't possible at the trade deadline was over. The minute that was over is when Tua took off. And that's why they fired the head coaches, because he did not believe in Tua. And I think I think he performed pretty well down the stretch, man. I think he did pretty good. And I think all they need is one more weapon. They need to beef up that line and get a running back. But this year was pretty much the basement of what Tua is going to be. So if he's this good at the basement with a coaching staff that didn't believe in him, and he gets a coach that wants to work with them, and they get a line in front of them, I think it's okay. I think you can make the argument for Tua over Justin Fields, even though I totally agree with you that Fields talent wise is better than Tua.
It's just made the argument for Fields. You just made the argument.
No, I didn't, because I would rather have the connection of Waddle over Mooney all day long, Especially, I would rather have Waddle and Gesicki over Mooney and Kmet all day long.
I don't know that you're going to have Gesicki.
Yeah, our boy Clip saying that Fields worries the hell out of him, and that Brandon, you're talking crazy as usual. I love it. Jennifer is joining. Jennifer, thank you for jumping on. It's all good. We appreciate you jumping on and giving us a little love. Thank you for tuning in.
Justin Fields has been like, what makes you think he was any good? You and I drafted jointly Justin Fields over Trey Lance, where I wanted Trey Lance in that league.
Justin Fields is a rookie. How did Tua look as a damn rookie?
I understand, but now he's got more experience. He's going into his third year. He's gonna have Miami has shit tons of picks to be able to fill in these holes, man. He's gonna have a leap year next year because of those draft picks that they are going to infuse into this offense this year.
I think what makes you feel good about Lance is that he's not getting a dirty diaper for.
Yeah, he's got an awesome offense around him.
I mean, I've taken shits that scheme up better than Nagy does. So he didn't know how to use him. He didn't deploy enough of the playbook.
Right.
He was just, quite honestly, he knew he was on his way out, and he really didn't give a crap. So and he coached like that. So it's fine. I think the thing that gives you hope about Fields is that he's gone through the week in and week out preparation. He understands how the season goes, and not that Lance hasn't, but Lance was never anointed the in-season starter the way that Fields was. So Fields knows what it's like to prepare week in and week out as a starter. Sure. Fields filled in when Garoppolo was there, and I think from a talent standpoint, I think that Fields and Lance were close from just a straight up talent standpoint. So all things being equal. Give me the guy that's done it for 10 games over the guy that hasn't done it for next year.
Yeah, I'm buying into the coaching staff of the Niners and the talent around Lance. It's going to be really hard for him to fail next year with that talent around him and that line, and with the running game that they got, man. That is such a safe pick for if you're gonna take a high upside young guy. I think Lance is that guy that you can take the plunge in and feel good about it, because I just believe in Kyle Shanahan. I think Kyle can coach a little bit, and I think he's been just trying to ease, like you said, he's the youngest quarterback in the league, man. He's so young.
I like it, man. I agree with Brandon on this one. I'm taking Lance over Fields, but to me, in my rankings, I'm probably gonna have Lance than Fields, right? Yeah. I might have a tier break between the two of them, but
where do you have Tua?
Honestly, probably
I'm a disrespectful guy against Tua too.
Yeah.
So this is hard for me.
Kirk
I've been shitting on Tua for years, and Mike knows this.
I just don't see the upside, man. I just don't see the upside of weak winning ability. I see that with Justin Fields. I see that with Trey Lance. I see that with pretty much your top 10 that you came up with. Going back, Aaron Rodgers, weak winning upside. Matt Stafford, Hurts, Prescott, Lamar. Look, we've seen it with these guys, right? Yeah. I don't know if Tua's got that in his DNA. I just don't know.
I know. I had the same questions too, but down the stretch, he was looking pretty nice. And once they get another guy to be able to be a running mate that's decent, to get Devontae Parker out of there. Once they get somebody that can run next to Waddle, that can take some coverage away from Waddle, they will start hitting Waddle deep. They haven't even used Waddle deep yet. Then that's what he's really good at. That's what he was fucking phenomenal at Bama at. And so once his ADOT rises, I think Tua will go with him.
Well, okay. So for the record, we're already at an hour. The plan was like 40 minutes. So we're already way over time. But I think the question becomes, once there's some target competition in there for Miami, same thing honestly with Chicago. I think both these teams need wide receiver help. They're both going to probably bring wide receivers in. That's going to be good for the quarterbacks. At the end of the day, I like the rushing upside of Justin Fields. I like just the fact that as a prospect, Justin Fields was, like you said, Mike, he was right there with Trevor Lawrence
right there
pretty much their entire career, right? So I'm banking on that. I'm banking on the history, and I'm banking on the eye test. I think we've seen it with Justin Fields. I'm not quite there with Tua, but I would prove me wrong, Tua. I want to be proven wrong. I liked him. I felt like I was an apologist for a long time for Tua. Now I'm kind of just accepting he's a Kirk Cousins type guy.
I think he is. That's a good comparison. I like
Kirk.
that.
That's it.
Yeah, he's Kirk Cousins. He is. He needs big time weapons for him to be a QB1. And I think Kirk has been a QB1 the last 3 years, right?
Yeah, he was last QB12 this year in points per game.
I think so I'm saying he just needs one more weapon and a line that can actually protect Tua. The poor guy was running for his life all year, man. If they can get a little bit of protection for him and give Waddle a little bit of time to get downfield, I think that offense opens up.
I love it. I love it, boys. Oh, fuck, man. We're just getting started. We only talked about a few quarterbacks. We got wide receivers. We got running backs. We got tight ends. We got
a lot of content to push out, guys.
We got so much coming up. We got rookie talk. Oh, my God. Brandon and I, Mike, you got to catch up, buddy. It's just it's so much fun talking about these rookies. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us to the end here. So, Brandon, how do the good people find you and talk shit about your top 10 list?
You can do that on Twitter, Brandon D Adam 19. Hit me up. And one last thing, I'm going to let you guys go. Kenneth Walker's the man.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Mike, what's going on, brother? How do people find you?
Same platform, different handle at Mike_Dickinson. I reserve judgment on Kenneth Walker.
There you go. Kenneth Walker is a monster. I love it. I love it.
I love him.
Of course, I'm Flex Shane. You can follow me on Twitter at the Flex Network 1. If you made it to the end, please like and subscribe. Put that little alert button so that when we do go live, you can come and talk shit about Brandon's top 10s that we're going to be going through for the next couple of weeks here. Go enjoy some fantastic NFL football. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know. Go Bills, I guess.
Yes.
Where I'm at.
I made a bet for the Bills to win the Super Bowl before the season started. Let's go Bills, baby.
They're my baby. Those Buffalo Bills gonna print some bills for Brandon D Adam 19 on Twitter.
Give me a couple grand. Let's go.
A couple of G's, baby. So for Mike, for Brandon, I'm Flex Shane, and we are the Flex Network.
Who dey?
This is the Flex Network. This is the Flex Network. Flex on them. Flex on everybody.